The Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. My name is DonivanGray, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting the journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is DonivanGray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor. You name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 400 videos on our channel. You want to learn real estate? We got that. You want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr.Sebi? We got that. Travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. Makeup and hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. Turo? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will be on our story. You can find me on Instagram at DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Burn, ANETABURN. The Bamboo Project is about turning your life into a living by making money off the things you already do every day. We made different playlists for all the things we are into, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 3, page 114. Okay, this podcast has 4 different segments. We have the life update, episode playback, Donovan's questions, and the topic of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is May 25th, and it is 2:43 p.m. So before we get to life update, start off with a screen time check. You already know what I say every single week. If I don't take advantage of my phone, then my phone is taking advantage of me. So we're going to see how much my phone took advantage of me last week. And I've said this before too. It's very interesting. And I think it goes to most addictions. Is I really feel like it comes down to your lifestyle. It's not even really the thing. It's just the thing is an escape from whatever you are going through. So last week my average screen time was 8 hours and 12 minutes a day, that's down from before, so that's good. The week before that it was 9 hours and 11 minutes. So it went from 9 hours and 11 minutes down to 8 hours and 12 minutes. So it's about an hour. My most used app was YouTube, as you know, could be assumed. Instagram was second for 11 hours and 14 minutes, and Google Maps was 6 hours and 17 minutes, coming in at number 3. And number 1, like I said, was YouTube for 24 hours and 32 minutes. That equates to a little bit over 3 hours a day. This is kind of interesting. My pickups. I picked up my phone on average 106 times a day last week. And my first used app after pickup was YouTube, then Instagram, and then Messages. And I got notifications from Impulse. I don't even use that app. I just have to turn that off. And then Messages were my highest notifications last week. So, but a beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend with missing teeth and a swollen jaw. How was your screen time last week?
7 hours and 18 minutes.
That's kind of high for you.
I was traveling more. So my total screen time for the week is 51 hours. Travel was 21. So yeah, I was on. So Google Map is my most used app for 21 hours. Then Instagram for almost 11. Then Messages for 6. My average amount of pickups was 212.
Okay.
I also worked last week, and I didn't play my Switch as much because of it. So I think that has something to do with it.
You didn't play your Switch because you worked, you saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So I went more for my phone than my Switch.
Yeah, like I said before, I even started the screen time. I really think that, and like I said, we'll see what happens when we at some point finally leave New York. Like I said, it sucks that it's taken so long to leave. Yeah, because I'm like, we've been playing this for so long, and there's no way I would have known how long the house was going to take to be done. Like, there's no way. Like, when it first happened and when it went to like September or November, I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, it'll be done by the end of the year with last year. I'm like, okay, at the very minimum, it'll be done by January. I'm like, okay, February's coming around. We definitely gonna be locked in February. We selling. It's gonna be done. We're gonna be moved out of here by May. We'll be out of here in Atlanta by May. House is not even done. It's May. May's over pretty much. June about to come. So everybody that we've talked to about the house feel like it's gonna be done by June. But again, when people ask me now, I don't even really give a date. I'm like, listen, I can't tell you. We're working as much as we can, as hard as we can to get it done. Going out there every week now. Before, we weren't even going out there like that before. But the reason we weren't going out there every week before, there was nothing to go out there for. We didn't have any money to give them. We weren't buying anything. We weren't paying anybody. So it really came down to, like I said, now that we have stuff to do out there, we're out there more often. But you know, it doesn't. Us going out there, I don't feel like necessarily makes them work faster. I think it makes them work as fast as they could work. That makes sense. So you know, so there's that. But I'm gonna stay on topic for the house, for the life update. We're going out there again on Friday, right? Because everybody, you know, y'all want to know what's going on with the house. Shout out to y'all. We will be there Friday. We are very close to dropping off, I feel like, all the finishes. We went out there last week. Shout out to my guy Keith, family friend, contractor. Has been a huge help because, like I said before, it's the first time we ever went out there with somebody that knows about the houses. So that was the first time. This is the second time we went out there. And anybody that's gonna do this to flip a house, what I would do is going forward is I would always make sure, but it's hard to say that, and it's a weird thing. The reason I say it's weird is because I think Alex Hormozy's been watching the podcast. I think he stole this from me, but I'm gonna say it again why it's weird. Okay, I know you're watching the podcast, Alex. I know. So I was gonna say that I think people should have a contractor beforehand, like someone they know that can help them with the house. And the reason I say that I don't really want to say that as much is because I don't want somebody not to start because they don't have that. So, you know, so yeah, I kind of would say that. So these are things that I would definitely say going forward I would have. And anybody that wants to start, do whatever you can to start. Is how I would say. Like, if you could, whatever you could try and do that. Because when we first started, we didn't have a lot of money. I don't know what we would have did. We had to wait to get the money. I also don't think we would have known how much money we actually need. Like, I don't really think there's a way for us to go back in time, obviously, but to have been like, okay, we're going to need X amount of dollars. Because at that time, we thought we needed $40,000. And at the time, that was a hard amount to get. Like, it was like, oh my God. I think we only had like 15 or 20 barely between us. And that's talking about, we maxed out all of our credit cards, all the cash we had, money in our closet, 401k, anything that had money in it, investment accounts, anything. We took all our money out and we probably had like 20k, something like that. And we were nowhere close to have enough for the house. So we went and raised it from family and friends and we got enough. Like, okay, we made it to it. Like, we finally got to 40,000. Like, wow, this is crazy. We're going to do it. And funny enough, if y'all were here before that or around that time, we were looking at a different person. His name is it Richard? No, it's not Richard. Jamal King from the Eric Thomas Club or Eric Thomas Group. And they had like a course that I paid for. And I talked to one of the guys in there. He said, if you want to buy a house, you're gonna need at least like $40,000 to buy the house. And we were like, damn, 40,000. We're like, okay, maybe we could find a house for like less and pay less for it. And push came to shove, we needed the 40,000 for it. And now that we've done it, we know we're gonna need more than that for the next couple houses that we buy. So like I said, I just always find it interesting, because you never know you don't know what you don't know. You just don't. But as far as the house goes, we went out there, we won a fridge in an auction. So that's something else I never even thought about. So Keith, he buys houses in different, in Jersey and New York and Philadelphia, and he does, he works on them, fixes them up. So one night during last week, I just got a text of a link from him, and I was like, okay, I click on it, and there was this fridge that was on the auction, and he was like, do you want it? And I was like, sure. He's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna put a bid in for you to get the fridge. This is like a $2,000 fridge or something like that, and we ended up getting a fridge for far less than that. So we're sitting there, I put the bid in, it's going up similar to eBay. And I haven't really eBay in probably over a decade at this point, but it was kind of like exciting, like, oh shit, we might get it. Then we would put the thing in and somebody else would outbid us. But you know how they have the automatic bids? So we would put in something like, let's say 500, then they would just go up to 502 and then 505, whatever. So we ended up buying a fridge for $840, $850. So we got a $2,000 fridge for $850, and it's amazing because we just saved $1,000 and some change. Now, me personally, this is a personal thing. I don't know if billionaires think like this or millionaire. I'm very curious how they operate. I feel like it's more of a millionaire thing, but I'm not a penny pincher. So if I have to save $2, I'm not, and I have to sacrifice convenience, I'm not gonna do that. Like, you're not gonna see me, traveling crazy amounts of places to save $2. So things like traveling to to Philadelphia, I could probably save money, at least before, if we had rented a bus. And not rented a bus, if we got paid for the bus. How much do you think a bus is to Philadelphia? Like $40? I think it's less. More? How much do you think it was? Like $100? 60. You think we spend more if we drive out there or less? Because we don't really count tolls. I don't know how much the tolls cost. We just be flying through tolls. Actually, can you pass me that? I want to show them how many tolls we have. Because we actually don't check our mail. Listen, when you owe this many people money, we don't check our mail. I don't answer the phone. None of that. So I just recently checked the mailbox after. This had to be weeks, at least 2 or 3 weeks at this point. So these are a stack of all of the, I was watching the video, you can see. These are a stack of all of the tolls that we haven't paid or have to pay for. It's a nice little stack of money. Got my bill phone, you see? Go put it up to my ear, you feel me? Like, you getting robbed like that. We're not getting money because they take money from us every day. So we have been spending money on that. But when it comes to saving money, things like this is where I feel like I successfully save money. When we got a $2,000 fridge for $800, I'm like, that's a substantial saving. But when somebody says, hey, Donovan, do you want to get this $20 cabinet or the $25 cabinet? And I'm like, well, the $25 cabinet looks better. I'm going to go with that one. That's what I'm going to do. Now, if the cabinet was $150 and one was $20, I'll go with the $20 cabinet. So we got this fridge. It's a French door fridge. It has the ice thing on it, the ice dispenser, water dispenser. So that's good. It's a large fridge, so I'm happy we got that. We also had gotten a cabinet when we was out there. We got the 2 toilets are now in the house or inside, not installed. So that's very good. We had an issue that some of y'all may know about. The trap or curb trap, as my contractor called it, which is what connects the house to the street, the sewer main system or the main sewer system. We were told it was broken. So we had our insurance go out there to finally look at it. That would have cost us $5,000. Allegedly, they fixed it. so we won't know for sure if it was fixed. It's supposed to be fixed. We're gonna find out probably this week or next week if it was fixed or not. Yeah, and like I said, I think it's also crazy too, because like I said, Keith came out there with us, and he was going to actually help us move the cabinets where they had to be. But he said he didn't have his tools because we had to rent a truck to actually get there. So he rented an Enterprise truck, so he didn't have his whatever he needed to do that, which is cool. But that just goes to show me how easy it would have been to do that. So I think last week was a very good week. We got a lot of stuff in there where, like I said, moving forward, the house is painted, the lights are in. Before, when we went there, they were hanging out of the ceiling. Now they're actually in the ceiling. What else? The bathroom is painted, the tiles are in. I talked to the guy today, to my contractor, and he said that, babe. So this week or today, they're putting up the scaffolding for the outside of the house. So I'm so excited, because I'm like, we are so close. We are right on the edge of this being done, like right on the edge. And honestly, the house would have been, the exterior might have been done already, but last week, after I was talking to my contractor about what's going on, he told me his house caught on fire. And I'm like, oh man, we about to have to push back all of the work again until, who knows, middle of June or something. Because I'm just like, bro, we'd have to go hire somebody else, because at this point, there's not a lot of room to be moving around. And bruh, I can't. Now is not the time for me to be waiting for anything. This needs to be done. I understand that happened, but that doesn't mean that now I couldn't get my stuff done. But by God's grace, it wasn't that. I mean, I don't think it was that serious. I rode by his house, or one of his houses. I didn't see it, and we spoke afterwards. He didn't really seem as distraught about it, and he did say today that they were putting the scaffolding up. So that means that when we go there on Friday, it's a possibility the exterior of the house may be finished. Like I was saying before, we saved the $5,000 that we would have had to spend on that sewer issue. Now, yeah. So, like I said, we coming along. There's still that. Oh, I never said that to nobody. I'm not gonna say that now either. I'm gonna leave that till I talk to that guy again. We have a contract. We have an agent who is still looking to possibly list the house. But we still on the fence about what we gonna do, who we gonna go with. But yeah, I guess I just keep saying over and over again, it's like we finally getting there. Like, I feel it, but I don't want to get too excited, because I've been saying we almost there for 7 months now. You have to get the mirrors in also. So yeah, like I said, right now we're at the finishing touches. I don't really think we have a lot of large issues other than the exterior, and they're also doing the backyard. So yeah, what the large things are there? Maybe clean up the basement. So yeah, those are the largest things that we have. Whew, man. So also, on to the next life update from last week. Melissa has gotten her tooth extracted. Now, as I have said before, I think this is a very barbaric procedure. Oh, I thought it wasn't going to be, but in my opinion, I think that Western medicine is the devil reincarnated. That's one of my opinions. I don't think we are getting it right at all. I think we have found a solution. I don't think it's the right or the best solution. And with her teeth, now, with this particular tooth, I thought they were going to do a small incision in her gum. I thought, hey, maybe they're going to do some type of technology I don't know about to get the tooth out. So they injected her with some anesthesia, and they got some pliers, and they pulled the tooth out. As they're pulling it out, it broke in her mouth. So now they're digging around in her gums to get the rest of the teeth out, or the tooth out of her gum. They pull with the pliers, they digging, they pulling and digging, they pulling and digging. I'm like, bro, you would think that a 5-year-old or some type of barbaric animal was trying to get her tooth out. I would think that in 2022 we have a better way of removing a tooth than just yanking it out of her mouth. So now she's had a swollen jaw. You want to show me swollen jaw? I'll put that in the I might put it in the thumbnail, but I'll definitely put it on the screen for y'all to see. And so today we have to go get a crown for it. Later in the day we have to go. It's like 5 o'clock. They can put the crown on, and now finally Melissa's mouth will finally be 95% done. The only thing left to do is to do something about the gap. What else is left? Oh, the filler cavities. When is that?
3 fillings to get.
When is that? You scheduled it already or no?
No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, but she'll finally be able to eat food. How's that? You think about that?
We'll see, right?
I mean, eating food now, so you know.
Barely. Barely. All the foods that I eat have to be swallowable.
That's how it's been your whole life. So is it? Do you think it's harder now or harder before? Do you miss your tooth? Do you have nostalgia? Like, oh, I remember I used to have a tooth here.
This is wild.
What is? Yes, like I said, this is something that we had planned to do from when we were gonna be rich and have money and be able to do this very nicely, like the rich movies. And you just go and walk in and they go, hey, I want to get this done. You walk out and everybody feels better. Then we go get some ice cream and then we go on like a vacation and we come back to the house with the dogs and the animals and then we run out of business that makes $1 million. Like that was the plan of how this was supposed to go. We weren't supposed to still be poor and still be trying to figure out Melissa's teeth while we broke. Like this is not supposed to be the plan. Like this is not how it's supposed to go. Or living in a studio apartment with 2 cats that don't have their own professional cleaning crew and stuff. That was not how it was supposed to go.
And no doors, so the cat be jumping on your face.
Yeah, I don't know. Rock recently, we got him a collar, and I don't know if he's more excited by the collar, but he always now likes to jump on Melissa's face. Maybe he knows it's in pain.
So he jumps on it.
He's trying to console you, babe. He's trying to kiss it. He's trying to like with his face. You know, that's crazy. I don't know why he does that. Yeah, that's definitely a new thing. So yeah, what else we got for this last week? We got the tooth, we got Philadelphia. Oh, the candles, because I know we haven't talked about the candles for a while. So we haven't been pushing the candles for honestly only been like 3 weeks. Honestly, we did a craft fair in May, didn't we? Like the first week of May, I think we did the craft fair. So we haven't really been pushing the last 3 weeks just because the house has been taking up a lot of time, and then Melissa's been working, and then there's a lot of regular life stuff. But Melissa had applied to this store several months ago, and they're in Manhattan, right? If y'all know, or if y'all don't know, it's a very expensive place, very high-end place. So this particular store has items that range in the $500 range. They have $1,000 items and everything too, right?
Probably. It's in Soho.
It's in Soho. That's in South Houston. Okay, if y'all don't know what that means, that stands for South of Houston. And they have approved Ember Candles to put their candles in there. Now, here's the caveat about this, right? They have to make money, right? So here's how their fee structure works. They charge $500 a month, and they also take 10% of whatever you make, right? Now, that's an obscene amount of money. So I'm going to do some quick math real quick to see how much money we would have to make to at least be profitable in that store, okay?
I don't think it's that bad.
We're going to find out right now. 30. So we got 500 divided by 35 is 14. So we got to sell at least, I'm going to say 15 because it's 14.2. We got to do at least 15 candles, right? So 15 times 35 is 525, right? But remember, for every candle is 10%. So if 10% of, what is this? 525 is $52. So it's $57. 52. So you got 525 plus 52 is 577. So I think we would probably have to do around 600. I'm gonna say $600 a month is what I think we'd have to do to be profitable in that store. So $600 a month divided by 35 equals 17. What?
Wouldn't it just be $550?
Why do you say that?
Isn't that 10% of
So 17 candles is what we have to sell every single 17 large candles is what we would have to sell every single month in that store to make it make sense, right? Now, personally, I don't think that's that hard because
that's 4 candles a week.
It's 4 candles a week, right? 4 big candles a week. Now, again, I don't think it's that hard to do depending on the clientele and how the candle is set up in the store. We have this candle in another store right now. Shout out to my guy in Brooklyn. He's holding the candle in his store, and we weren't able to set it up where the marketing is there, where the information is there, where it stands out. So right now, because it's a natural candle, we don't have those abrasive smells on the candle. So when you smell it, it's not going to be like, oh my God, this is, oh my, because that's usually how candles that have a lot of chemicals in it usually smell. You're not going to smell it as much when it's what do you call it? A more natural candle, more natural scent, excuse me. So they also don't know the benefits of the candle. They just see it and go, okay, this candle's $15 and it's small, but I can buy a candle from Target for $1.50 that smells like, pineapple, sunshine, beach breeze. And they go, oh, I love this smell. And, they take that home and it costs $1.50 and it's bigger, which is cool. If you want to get sick, that's fine. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to tell you not to get sick. Like, that's what you want to do in your house, by all means. I'm just saying, if you want a candle that purifies the air, who does not want their air purified? That's all I'm saying. I do. I know I would. So I would buy a candle that purifies the air. And as a guy, I'm speaking honestly about this because this is something I definitely, and I wonder if this is because it's that kind of candle. I never burn candles. I'm not a candle burner. Yeah, I'm not really a candle burner, right? But if Melissa leaves a candle out, I will definitely light the candle. Like if she's not in the house, I'll just put the little lighter on there. And I just have it lighting in the house. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know what the reason is. I just know it feels better when the candle is lit in the house. It could be because it's purifying the air. All I know is I enjoy the candle being lit in the house. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. It's crazy. But they also have like a 3-month minimum. So it would be $1,500 plus the 10% of each candle. So 2 things we're probably gonna have to do. Either sell a lot of candles or raise the price. We're probably gonna for sure have to raise the price. If we raise the price 10%, that would be an extra $3.5 or $3.50. So if we sell a candle with like $40 or $45, I think,
I think it's just off of 45.
So yeah, we could do 45, and that should be like an average range for that candle anyways.
I should honestly, from the candle that they have in there, that's kind of cheap.
So yeah, look at that. And it's big, it lasts long. I'm just saying, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. So we're slowly expanding the candle business. Remember, just a little bit, little by little. You all see?
Amazon?
Huh? I didn't. Amazon also called us because they're setting us up with an account on what is it called? What's that program called? Black Business Accelerator. Melissa met a young lady in Clubhouse like last year who was the head of the program, and she's black and she's young. It's crazy. And she had suggested Melissa go and try and get into the program, and they finally approved Ember Candle for the program.
She suggested that I had no candles. Like, it wasn't.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. That's funny. So there was no candles then.
Like, if you ever have a product,
Oh wow! So look at that. So look how the tables have turned for us in that regard. So they're gonna set us up. They even do the marketing for us. They'll give us a little store. They take a percentage out, which is fine. But I'm happy because it takes away a lot of the work from us to do as far as setting the store up. Let them do that. So it's cool. So we would be in at that point 3 stores. And we're really, like I said, we're really not pushing anything. We have kind of slowed everything down just because we really want the house to get done. And there's no wholesaling. We're not doing the candles. We're not pushing we're not pushing the candles like online in terms of social media wise. We're not pushing it in the store. Something comes and we do it. Airbnb, obviously we put that on pause. And it's something else that we're doing too. Oh, the YouTube videos, huh? Yeah, and tour. So the YouTube videos and tour, we all had to kind of put on like we're in chill mode, relax mode to some degree because recovery mode. That's a good one. We're in recovery mode until the house is done. And man, I just wait. I'm telling you, y'all gonna be excited, 'cause y'all been here the whole time. One day they're gonna see us in a nice ass house. They're like, y'all remember the days when the podcast used to be in a little tiny studio? In my brain, that is all that keeps me going. And it's funny too, because shout out to my guy Alex from Mosey, who's stealing my content from my podcast. I saw you steal it. I know you stole it. He said how he defines love is by what you are willing to endure, right? And I'm like, he said that's how he felt about his business. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, here's how he defines love. Y'all can say if y'all agree or disagree.
I define love as what you're willing to endure to keep something. Somebody loves his kids. They do all these things for their kids and they're not getting anything back. It's the amount that we're willing to endure to keep something. Like the extent to which you're willing to endure is the extent to which you love something. And to the same degree, you can think about the dark side of that, which is like, look at addiction, right? Which is why they're willing to endure so much pain to keep it. I think that for me, it was just that I so desperately loved and desired to be successful because of, my own past, that I was willing to endure everything short of death to get.
Was that true?
I didn't hear the same.
That's fine. But like I said, I think in my mind, that's what always keeps me going is what the next thing, and getting to that level of, okay, we finally have a good foundation to stand on. Like we have an apartment that we don't have to worry about the rent being paid. We have a car that's paid for. Honestly, it'll be a little bit more lavish than that because we'll have a chef, we'll have somebody cleaning the house, we'll have an executive assistant. We'll probably have 2 cars. I think the other day was the first time that I can remember that we probably both needed the car at the same time. And I was like, damn, we might have to have 2 cars. I forgot. Oh, it was the day when I went with Ariel. And I was like,
I mean, I wasn't going to drive. Well, I wasn't intending on driving at first because I wasn't gonna. I thought I wasn't drinking. No, I thought I would be drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Once I found out I was drinking, I would have drove.
You would not have drove.
Once I found out I was drinking, I could not drink. I would have drove.
Oh, okay.
But because I thought I would be drinking, I was not intended on driving. Yeah,
and I think that, just the first time I was like, yeah, we're probably gonna need 2 cars, and I was like, I'm gonna have a Tesla. I'm just gonna have the Tahoe or a Suburban or something large, some type of super truck or something. We're gonna get her a monster truck. I think for one of your birthdays, we're gonna get you driving a monster truck. She could be like, oh, this is so much fun. You can drive all the cars and stuff. I think you would like that. I think Melissa, that's the thing about girls too. I definitely think that women love large things because the majority of their life they're smaller than everybody. So I feel like they always want the big truck, they want the big phone, they want the big bag. Everything has to be humongous for them. Everything. They want the huge dick. Nothing can be small for them. They want the huge man. Nothing for them could be little. Everything has to be big. Girls who are 5'1" want to get the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Hands can't even grab the phone. They gotta hold it with 2 hands. No, what men they gotta hold their phone with 2 hands like this? Nobody got a phone, regular phone. They gotta hold with 2 hands. No, all the women want the big old phone. They want to get you ever drive by a lady in a truck and she can barely even see over the thing? She got to jump out the car. That's women. Why? I don't know. I just want. I see. Right. You got to search your dominance because every day they getting fucked by a guy and they like. One of these days I'm gonna get a big ass truck. I'm gonna fly past you. I'm gonna show you I'm the man in this relationship. That's how women feel. And Rico Paul asked me about the eviction. So some of y'all may know, may not know. You're about to find out right now. We are still technically in an eviction process to some degree. It was kind of put on hold. We've been in this eviction process since the pandemic started for the most part. And it's honestly, we haven't paid rent in almost 2 years, probably, maybe a year and some change. It's been a long ass time since we paid rent. And right when the eviction kind of came back for us, we called the city and they said, oh, you guys were in that program? Oh yeah, they can't kick you out for at least another year. Like y'all, I was like, oh, okay, all right. They're like, all right, later. I was like, all right, bye. And then that was the end of the call. So that's kind of where we are right now. And we would love to be out of the house before the eviction comes back. But again, who knows? Who knows? I have learned, as much as I try to time things, I am terrible at that. Like, there's no way to time things. And a lot of times what I've realized is, for me personally, I usually get the thing I want, just not when I want it, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You know, that's just kind of how it goes. Like, okay, I know for sure I'm going to get $10,000, right, this year or in a month. And it's like, we have definitely received $10,000 in a month since this period that we've been under eviction and with this house. I can't keep it though, but we got $10,000 in a month. So I got the money just at the wrong time. So we got a house. I was supposed to get the house. We're going to do it, we had planned to get the house the year before last, I think it was. Or was it the year before last? I feel like we were supposed to get the house.
You bought the house
last year. But I feel like we were supposed to get it the year before that. But like I said, things come when they come. That's all I'm going to say. Last week I talked about, I had a friend that would get mad about hanging up on him. And I wanted to clarify exactly what that was. I feel like when I said it, I didn't specify what I was talking about, because other people may also feel like this too, which again, growing up, to me, this was a crazy thing that he would say. It wasn't about hanging up on him, right? If I said later and he didn't get to say later back, he felt like I hung up on him. So what he wanted was for me to wait until he had said bye or later and then hang up. So if I said, all right, bro, I'm out of here, and I hung up, he would call me back and be like, bro, you hung up on me? I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? He's like, you hung up on me. I'm like, bro, the convo was done. I said, I said bye. He said, yeah, but I didn't get to say nothing afterwards. I was like, because I said bye. I hung up the phone. So I thought that was something that other people may experience. It was strange to me. And I would just be like, bro, this is ridiculous. Like, it's a crazy thing to be calling me about. But that happened. And then Rico Paul, shout out to my guy, he also had asked, am I concerned about the housing crash for the house that we have in Philadelphia? Now, here's my perspective on the housing crash. I want to say the housing crash is not a real thing, right? And what I mean by that is, no matter when the housing crash happens, people are still buying and selling houses. That never stops happening. I think what happens is the people who are at the higher end and who are, at the highest end of that are the ones who are affected the most. People who have to sell multi-million-dollar houses, possibly. I think the people who are, let me not say that. I think the people who are selling the house at a price that's way higher than it should be sold at, I think those are the people that are affected most by a housing crash. I don't think our house price is abnormal for Philadelphia. I think it may be high by maybe $30,000 in terms of what that area is, maybe 40, possibly. But I think what happens with the housing crash is usually that just means the interest rates go up. So housing prices go down. The only reason a housing price would go down is because people are not paying certain prices for the house. No government dictates in America the price of a house. So you can have a house in a housing quote crash that costs $1 million and sell it for that because somebody might buy it. But all the houses around you might not sell that for that, only sell for $500,000. So with our house, in a situation where the interest rates go up and people stop buying houses as much, I think what will have to happen is people would want to, people would have to put more down payment. So instead of putting down, let's say a house is $300,000, right? So they have to put down 20% of that. That'd be $60K, right? They may have to put down $80K or $90K for the house to make up for the price of the house plus the whatever their like debt to income ratio would be, because they're probably gonna have to pay more per month for the house because the interest rate will be higher from their bank. So I'm not really that concerned about it. Like I said, I think the people who are into flipping a house who are trying to make a quick flip in terms of, I bought my house February 1st. I'm trying to sell it by March 2nd. And all I did was paint it and flip it, or paint the walls and mow the lawn. And I'm adding extra $50K for the house. Those people are the ones who will be most affected by a housing crash, because they are trying to take advantage of the housing prices. We put a lot of work into the house. So I think that the actual value to the house is there. So you'll come into the house and go, wow, this is a really nice house. Like, I want to live here. The people who are going to buy the house that all you did was mow the lawn and paint it, they're not trying to spend the extra $30,000. They'll go somewhere else. But somebody who's like, this is my first time house, I really love this house, I want to live here, they'll spend more money regardless if the house market is up or down, because they're like, I want to live in this house and it's worth the money that it's being charged for. And like I said, I think we at that point in a housing crash, the worst case scenario, we'd have to sell a house for like $280, which is like, we would still get our money back we put into it, but we wouldn't really make much of a profit, which is like, okay. I mean, that's the worst case scenario in a housing crash. So there's that. But what's something else I want to talk about with the episode playback? I think that was it. I think that was the episode playback. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this. So in my life, I have been, I would say, formally or officially cheated on, I would say twice. Once for sure. One for sure. The ones before that, I was like 13, and I don't know if there was sex involved at 13. It could have been like some sexual activities, but that one I don't really feel like it had an imprint on me that much. But yeah, because back in the day, if I had a friend who called my girlfriend, they were on the phone in the middle of the night, to me that's cheating. When I'm 13 years old. Honestly, I don't even know if I was 13. I was like in the 7th grade. So I might have even been 13. I might have been like 12 or 13. So that was the first time. Second time was when I was in college. Right? Now, for anybody that has been cheated on, y'all might understand this, especially with guys. I don't know if girls go through this. I'm curious. I'd have to ask a girl that's been cheated on if they go through this. It's very interesting. I don't know if girls experience this or not. But for me personally, whenever the times that I have been cheated on and the people that I know that have also been cheated on, they tend to ask questions that don't really matter in a situation, right? So, for example, when I was cheated on in college, I would ask questions like, well, where were you at? What were you wearing? Why were you wearing that? Did you like it? Did he kiss you when he did it? Did he grab your hair? How big was he? Was he bigger than me? Did you enjoy it? What position did you do? Right? Now, personally, I don't really have an explanation as to why. I think you just get so emotional. You just want to understand what's going on. I also think that it's a form of self-justification to still be with that person. I think what happens is, in my mind, I'm trying to find a solution or a way to go, well, at least you didn't do this thing and you didn't do that thing, so technically I could let it pass. That's what I think is happening when a guy asks those questions, or when I ask those questions, right? So from that moment when it happened in college, that was probably top 3 traumatizing things for me. And by traumatizing, I mean in the sense of those are the things that are etched on my character going forward, and they change how I approach a lot of things. Just how I look at the world, those things affect that. And when that happened, right, I remember justifying it as it's your first time experiencing sex in the sense of someone else other than me. At that point, we had only had sex. Nobody else she had sex with. So I said, okay, I understand that you want to experience other people. You hear me talk about sex. You hear me and my friends laugh about different stories that we've had and things that we've gone through, and you never got to experience that. So I understand that you did that, right? So my solution to that was, okay, how about this? We'll break up. We'll still do girlfriend and boyfriend things, right? Which is always a bad idea. And you can go date and do whatever you want to do, right? Now, I remember this is like my first time doing this, and I remember a specific instance when we were in a car, right? Because she used to go over to his house like different days of the week. So she might come to my room for certain days. We would do whatever. And then she might go to his house other days, stuff like that. And at first they were just kind of going on dates. He took her out to like the pool hall, or they went to like the arcade room and the thing. They just played, hung out. It was cool vibes and stuff like that. So I knew at some point they were going to have sex. I know it was leading to that, right? But I think in my soul, I always wanted her to be like, nah, I'm not going to do it. Even though I told her to do it. That's what I'm assuming happened. So, or maybe I'll just being pragmatic and practical. So that day finally came where they were went to go have sex, right? So in my mind, and this is why I realized I always make this mistake with this situation. In my mind, right, I think the girl's going to go, okay, I'm going to have sex with this guy, but I'm only going to do it to see what it's like. And I'm not going to cross any boundaries because I still want to be with Donovan. In my head, that's what I think is going to happen. Now, I wonder if other guys think this. I don't know. So, I remember we're sitting in the car, right? Never forget this. It was like, again, traumatizing. I think that's the word for it. It might be sadistic, or I might be a masochist. Let me see. What's one of sadistic? Sadistic. So I might be a masochist, but I don't feel like it's a sexual gratification. Okay. So it's in general use, enjoying an activity that appears to be painful or tedious. That's what I think it might be. So we're sitting in the car. We're going to like a party with some friends from college. And the topic comes up about what her and him did. Right? So again, I'm going through the whole question. I'm just like, I'm trying to play it cool. Like, yeah, so what y'all do? Oh, because he went in the house. What he do? He just like, I bet you he tried to say this, right? Oh, he didn't say that? Okay. Well, I bet you tried to do this, right? Yeah, he did. Oh, okay, yeah, I know how guys are. Yeah. Right? So she started talking about the sex thing, right? Now, another thing too for me is I always want to get better in all aspects of my life, even when it comes to sex. So I would take things that she said that he was doing and go, okay, I would remember she likes that, so I'm gonna try and use that going forward, right? One of those things was for guys who have sex out there, it was staying inside while changing positions. That was something that she said that she liked. I was like, oh, I think at the time I was 18, no, 17. I'm like, what? People do that? Okay. So, all right, cool. Because he was older than us. So then she says that this is the part where my soul left my body. Like my soul just escaped. So she said that he couldn't come from sex. Right? And I was like, well, that sounds like a really cool superpower. Right? Like, I would love that. And she said it's because of something that he was doing as a kid, whatever the reason was. And I was like, well, how does he, I'm like, well, if he's having sex and he doesn't come, what does he do? How does he come? She was like, well, yeah, I had to, he had to jerk him off. And I was like, you did that? She was like, well, not really. Well, he did it. And I was like, he just did that? Like, while you were like, what were you doing? She was like, well, I was on my knees and I was just like, oh my God. And I said, my soul leaving my body. I was like, oh my God. She was like, yeah. And I was like, oh God. I was like, oh my God. Right. Now, again, in my head, I'm asking these questions because I want to understand. But again, I also think there's some type of masochistic, that's a proper term, element to this. Because it hurt, for sure. And I thought to myself, like, damn, I don't even respect you no more. Like, and it's crazy because for me to know she's going out to have sex with somebody else and then expect her to have my kind of sex, what I would find to be respectable with someone else, is unreasonable to ask of her, right? However, still hurt, and I still ask the questions about it. And I remember just being like, yo, this is crazy. And like I said, that was the first time I realized, like, okay, this is probably not the best solution to the problem, is letting your girlfriend do this, right? But I didn't learn my lesson. So, round 2. A couple years later, where I'm talking to this other girl, and she had a guy she had a crush on, right? Now, it was one of those crushes where it's like, well, Donovan, I want to be with you and I like you. He's around. We used to try to talk before, but it didn't work. And this particular situation, I think her reasoning was he didn't like her. That's what girls love saying. That. Girls, listen. Guys know this because they all hear it. Girls love saying this. I don't even like him. I don't like him, right? But then the guy be blowing her back out, right? They love saying this. So she wants that. Let me put that way. So she's like, I don't even like him like that. No, he doesn't even like me. He don't like me. I mean, I tried to talk to him. He don't even like me. And I was like, really? He don't like you? Okay, right? So now I think her thing was, he likes fat girls. He likes big. I'm not even big. Why would he like me? I'm not big. I'm like, okay, you have a vagina, so he would fuck you. Y'all work together. He like that's enough. No, that's enough, right? So I'm like, listen, I know this guy wants to fuck you. I don't know why you don't know this, right? So it's like, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. He wants to take you out. Let him take you out. Because in this time period, again, this goes back to, I don't even know what causes this. I'm not sure what it is. It started off with her getting free food. It was just like regular, oh, he's taking me out to get some food. He wants to buy me this and things like that. He'll give her money and stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm getting money. You doing your thing. Now, there were times where this could be perceived as pimping, right? And I think it's crazy because that instance taught me how easy pimping could happen, because it wasn't like a volatile thing. It was like, oh, all right, cool, we playing him. All right, you want to fuck? All right, cool, he gonna give you some money too. All right, cool. So we gonna go get some food with that money that he gave you. He buying you this. Okay, cool. I don't gotta buy that for you, right? So again, this is a girl I was talking to seriously at the time, somewhat. So now it comes down to the part of like, okay, it's time for the sex, right? Now, again, I think I have some type of masochistic something. I don't know where it comes from. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's a guy thing, because I know other guys that have asked the same questions and somewhat do the same things. She was going to meet him. Bless you. She was going to meet up with him, right? So we're on the phone talking, right? She goes over down the block, wherever they meet at the train. I'm on the phone while she's walking with him and he's talking to her, right? So I'm hearing the whole conversation. I'm telling her to say this and say that. She's saying these things. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, do your thing. So, she's saying the things. Everything is, is cool. Bless you. Everything is going smoothly, I guess. So they get in the house, right? They go in the room. Nobody's there. And then, it starts leading into the sexual aspect of things. And at this point, I hear not the sex. I just hear the leading up to it. Kind of like the quietness. You could tell that there's like a tension there. You could feel that, right? And then she hangs up. Now, let me ask you this. Listen. Why do you think she would hang up the phone?
So you wouldn't hear her?
Right. That's the obvious thing. But why do you think she would not want me to hear her?
Because she's about to enjoy what she's doing.
So, okay. Right. So the phone hangs up, right? And bless you. Right. So at this point, after the whole thing happens, we end up talking about it, and I remember just thinking like, She said she liked it, and I don't know why in my head I always was just I don't know. I think I always wanted the girl to go, I was better. I usually would get that. I'm trying to think. How often did that happen? I feel like it's happened that I let somebody else have sex with a girl I was talking to.
I was surprised you do more than once, but you know. I'm surprised that you have to think about whether or not you did it the right time.
Because I'm trying to figure out. Oh, well, that was not the same thing. Because I'm trying to figure out why I would do that. And I think the reason is I want them to say that I was better.
Right. You're narcissist.
Ooh, I could think that's what it is. Yes. But that's what narcissists would do?
Probably.
But what if you're not better? What if I'm not better?
And that's what you were obviously weren't thinking about that.
Oh, well,
You probably was like, alright. The first time I had it to you was a shock. It was, oh my god, what? She enjoyed herself more than me, right? Probably picked up some tricks.
I did.
Worked on yourself.
I did.
So then when the opportunity presented itself again, you was like, I'm ready this time. She gonna pick me this time. And then, I don't know what happened after that.
That's the thing. Okay, with her, she definitely didn't say it was better than me. I remember that.
The first one?
No. That's okay. For sure, the second one definitely didn't say that. The first one, I don't know if she said it was better, like he was better.
Didn't have to say it.
Right, she didn't have to. Definitely didn't have to. But I don't think she didn't like. That's how I could put this. Yeah, I was gonna say, like you said, I don't think she. I don't think she said it, but I think that she said the things that would make it better. However, there's something else that girls put in there, and now it's okay. The emotional thing, they put that in there as in like it was. I liked it more with you because it was emotional, but for me, I'm like, yeah, fuck all that. Emotions don't matter. Like who was laying it down better? Who was piping you better? That's in my head. I'm thinking like, forget emotions. That's unfair because y'all not dating. So I can't use that as an example. Who comes in and piped it out?
Unless they were bad.
Bad as in like sexually bad?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think that unless they were bad, I think it'll be harder for the person that is currently having sex with the person to top the new person.
Wait, say it. Who the top for? So use me as an example so I can know who you're talking about.
Unless the other guy was really bad, I think that situation, you would have come out on top of that situation.
Okay, why you say that?
Because that is not how that other guy probably actually is. Because she would be comparing all of her experiences with you with this one experience with this one guy. Does that make sense?
Why would he come out on top?
Because y'all be acting different around the first time.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Like you trying to get pussy.
That's another thing too, where this is why this is all a bad idea. Because
Yes.
But it makes sense, but it's a bad idea. So the other thing too is, I think that it's also difficult because if the sex is not close in time period, it's also harder to compare the two. So if somebody has sex in the beginning of the month with one person and sex at the end of the month with the other person, if the person who was at the end of the month was decent, it's gonna be like, yeah, it was like this person did this better and that person did that better. I feel like that's like asking and unless there are metrics in my head that you can measure it by, then it's hard to compare the two as one being better than the other. And that's why I like to involve emotions into it, because emotions, I feel like, can make bad sex good or decent sex better, because girls go, well, I really liked him and I liked the sex because I liked him. And I've had girls say, well, I'm not even dating, will say like, okay, I'm like, well, she's like, yeah, but I liked him a lot. And I was like, was he? And that's the thing too. Girls I've talked to who have not dated will tell me that guys that they actually like, they enjoy having sex with him more than a guy who's actually better in bed. And that's right. But how does that work? How is he better in bed, but you enjoy having sex with somebody else? So who's better? Who is the one that is winning that situation?
If you turn me off outside of that, I'm not going to have sex with you.
But see, that's what I'm saying, and that's again what's all a bad idea. Because who gets the badge of better at sex?
But you're taking out the emotional. There is an emotional element to sex,
right?
So you can't just not include that.
Exactly, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm trying to find out who is fucking better.
Well, we can't help you with that.
That's another part of the problem that I learned. Is like, okay, there are too many like subjective variables in it. Because in my head, I'm thinking, okay, you're gonna put the dick in and you're gonna do these moves and you're gonna like it's like a video game. Okay, XXY double tap, you win. You good at this. But it's like, nah, bro, you have to like polish your controller first before you get into the game. You got to make sure you have the updated version of the game. All things matter to the game. You're like, bro, I just want to play the game. Like, nah, it don't work like that. And I feel like when it comes to sex, that's how I used to mostly think about it was, okay, if I could pick her up and do this and turn over and do this, it's going to be better. And another thing too, which is crazy to me, is most girls don't come from sex vaginally. So now if the metric in my head is, did she come from sex vaginally, and she didn't, then it's bad sex in my opinion. But girls still have to rate the sex even though they didn't reach that milestone. So it's like, okay, how do you rate that now? It's like, what do you is it how big it is, how fast he was going, how long it lasts? Because with that particular guy, he would last for an hour, 2 hours, because he doesn't come from sex. Yeah, she told me, well, this is what he said. He jerked off very hard when he was younger, a lot, all the time. So he desensitized himself to actual. So he can only come from jerking off.
That don't sound like black. Does that sound? How does that sound to you?
In terms of what?
Does that sound like? How does that sound to you? Does that sound like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that? Does that sound crazy? Like, how does that sound to you?
As in terms of like, what do you mean? I don't want to be him? I don't know what you mean by I don't want to do that. Huh? I don't know what you mean by the question.
Yes, would you want to do that?
Jerk off hard enough to not come from sex?
Only be able to come from jerking off.
What the question was, would I only want to be able to come from jerking off? At the time, yes. I was like,
sure you did think.
Right. I mean, that's a great superpower. Right? But I remember.
Crazy.
But here's the thing. I remember, here's how petty I was back then. I remember texting him from her phone, like, that's why you can't have kids, because you have to jerk off into a bottle and pour it into your girlfriend. Some shit like that, right? And I was being petty. I was being just about, I was 17, 18. So.
Because that's not enjoyable.
But that's the thing, though. It's not for the guy, but I could still make you come. And I'm winning if I do that.
I don't know.
That's another thing too. That's what I'm saying. Think about it, as a girl, you may feel like, I don't like this because he's never coming.
Right.
But not, so that's why I'm like, it's hard to weigh. This is why it's a bad idea, because there's so many variables to be like, is the sex better? I feel like if it's in any way close,
and then different people like different types of sex.
Right. And you might not even know you like something else. Somebody, it's the room could be small, the bed could be this, it could be a lot of different things. So I would have to like have a controlled study trial of like, okay, you can only do this position for this long at this time period of the day during this time of the month, and then you guys can. Now I'm gonna come in next the same time of the month, and so. But I used to think that was a good idea. Now, the last thing about this that I'm gonna talk about was something I thought was very interesting. Now, around the time that I was around the time that I was running a game, right? For people who don't know about the manosphere online or pickup artistry and things like that, they have books on how to get women to have sex with you, right? They have like psychology books. They have what to wear, how to dress, what to say, how to say it, where to be, what to look like, everything. It's literally A to Z on how to have all kinds of women have sex with you. They have stuff like talk to her less attractive friend so that she feels like she's insecure and she has to talk to you and you get her to have sex with you later. There's the when a girl approaches you, talk over your shoulder to her so she feels like you're more important to her. There's a lot of these little tiny things that people do and teach to be able to pick up women, right? And from my experience reading the game and learning from other videos and books and learning out in the field and things like that, I think what a lot of men come away with is that the inferiority of women. And I think that is probably not the best way to go. And in most cases, I think that the majority of men who are into that are still trying to overcome some kind of hurt or pain. That's what I think. For me, before I even learned about it, after the thing happened in college, I remember being like, fuck all women. I was just like, okay, I don't care about no woman. Forget her feelings. I put me first, right? And during that time period, I was having way more sex. So all I did was reinforce the idea that, oh, you should not care about women. Like, just don't care about them and they'll want you more, which is a crazy ideology. It does work, but I personally don't feel like that is the best way to go about it for multiple reasons I'm not going to get into today. Now, when you read these books, a lot of things they talk about is power. Like, for example, I might have heard the book, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, and the power dynamics that happen just between two people in a relationship, right? So when I was heavy into the game, I was trying to theorize different ways to have power over the girl I was talking to, because that would make her more attractive, mean that she would do more what I say, and then I would just be seen as more of the masculine guy, whatever word you want to use for that, right? One of those theories I had was to be in the room with my girlfriend fucking another guy, right? Now, here's the logic behind that. The logic was this: the more power that I have over the situation, the more attractive I become, right? So, for example, it would be you can only do this position, right? You can't give him head. He can't be this size. And you have to stop when I say stop. Like, he can only do the things that I tell him to do during this sex, right? Now, the reason why I theorized this was because, according to the book and all that bunch of other stuff, women like men who other men find respectable, right? Or lead the group. So the idea was that if I could control this whole interaction, then it would make me seem more attractive from that standpoint. Now, sounds crazy when I say it now, but back then, bro, I tell you, arguing with my friends down. We was arguing down like, bro, I'm telling you, if I bring another dude in and she can fuck and he's fucking her and I'm fucking her too, but I tell him he gotta stop, he gotta wait. I was like, yeah, bro, this is it. They was like, bro, are you crazy? I'm like, I'm telling you, bro, this is how it works. Now, because I'm not in that headspace, it sounds crazy, right? But I'm pretty sure I had a very strong logic back then as to why it was a good idea to be in the room while somebody else fucks my girlfriend. Now, before we go, I'm gonna see if I can ask my friend who remembers this, if he remembers my logic, and then that'll be how I end this. right, so he says he's gonna call me back. Let me see. So, yeah, I guess what I'll do is when he calls me back, I'll record the phone call, and then I will put that on the end of the podcast. So, until next week, because I know we probably have the house be really up to date, so y'all get to see that in the next video. And Bamboo Project out.